to know what the attitude towards Ukraine is. There's such a lot of emphasis on what's going on in Gaza, and Ukraine is actually being totally forgotten. There's suffering and violence committed by Vladimir Putin. Do you have any policies on that?
Struggles, and we would continue to support them. Obviously, we'd have to lobby. We can't do that if we're not from them. We'd have to lobby them. It's basically, Russia's just committing war crimes. It's trying to annex Ukraine for itself. I guess we just have to keep supporting Ukraine, keep funding them, try and ensure that if Trump does get in America, that we can still get some kind of support from America if it does, you know, unfortunately go against that's about it really, as far as our policies, because they just support Ukraine in whatever way we can.
Thank you very much. Martin?
I think I put it slightly differently. I mean, absolutely opposed to Putin's invasion. It has caused enormous bloodshed on both sides. It was clearly something that Putin has calculated would help his dictatorial regime. But when it comes to war, I don't say as a socialist that we're on the one side of one country against another country, because I'm on the side of work.
Excuse me, but you are, because...
Hang on.
Sorry, can we, I'll absolutely let you come back in a second. Can we let him have his time?
Let me finish my point.
Just a second, you can let him have his time, and then I'll bring in, you can make your point in a second.
The point is, in any war, I'm on the side of the working class, of working people. And what I want is working people in Russia and working people in Ukraine. That's how you defeat war, and that's how you defeat Putin. We need Putin to be out of office. We need working people in Ukraine and Russia, in the same way as need working people in the Middle East to resolve the problems by working together. That's the way forward. There is no other.
I'll just bring you back in now, if that's it.
I just find it very sad that people are focused so much on Gaza and Israel.
It's not the same.
The other issues that are going on have been ignored. And unfortunately, no matter what you say about Gaza and Israel, all these marches and all these focus groups, they're not going to achieve anything, because it's up to those countries to sort it themselves.
Yes, we will.
Right, it's okay, guys.
By disinformation. So the average person in Russia buys the propaganda on state TV. So you'd have to overcome that massive misinformation machine to try and get the working people on side. And that's good. He's a dictator. So I think it's a little bit naive to say we've got to get the working people to, because unfortunately they're being brainwashed. They're being fed propaganda. You know, Russia can do no wrong. It's the West attacking Russia and all that. How do you fight that?
Okay, I'm going to let Martin come in, because I let Martin come in for a follow-up. I have seen you for... Was it on this question? And yourself.
What you said about comparing, was it Putin to Hitler? Netanyahu's no, but he's probably even worse. Get out. You know, what done? Completely disgraceful.
He'd like to punish with a war crime.
A complete of all the Palestinians. And it's been massacre and massacre after massacre after massacre since for about 8 centuries.
It's not right to punish 2 million people for the acts on the 7th of October.
So, what we'll do, guys, if we can, we'll take this last one. Martin needs to have a chance to speak, because Mark had one, and then I'll close down on this. And you've been waiting very patiently to ask your question, so we'll come to that, okay?
I grew up in the Enoch Powell era. 50 years later, I feel more threatened by my religion now than I've ever done before. They've turned this Palestine war into a Muslim and Jewish. It's not about religion, it's about apartheid, it's about occupation. They've turned it into, let's believe in what Netanyahu's saying, and the Western governments are all complicit in this genocide. However, grassroots level, here in the UK, where I have paid my taxes, where I've lived all my life, I'm having to justify that I'm a Muslim, and I am a moderate Muslim, and I'm not a terrorist. Every which way, if there's mention of Islam, suddenly we're all terrorists. I wouldn't know one end of a gun from another. I wouldn't know one end of a bomb from another. Why am I having to justify or decide to marginalise my religion because they've turned it into a Muslim or an Islam and a Jewish thing? Why is everybody allowed to say, oh, this is anti-Semitic, but yet nobody is allowed to say this is anti-Islam, this is Islamophobia, which is what I'm experiencing on a daily basis.
Just emphasise the point I'm trying to make, because it's the first time temperatures get risen, if you like, and people feel perhaps they're on different sides. That is what is happening in the world. We have to realise that we are facing a world that's going to be of poverty, of insecurity, and that's when people are going to start to get set against each other. And the point I'm trying to say is that it is the super wealthy, the big powers, Putin on one side, but yes, also elements of NATO, elements of America, whether it's the Middle East, whether it's in Ukraine, whether it's in parts of Africa where regional wars are going on. We must not be drawn into an argument of saying we support one side of a war against the other side of the war, because it's the ordinary working people who end up fighting the guns at each other and having the ones that are driven out of their homes and driven out of their livelihoods. We have to say that we stand against that. We stand for a world where people live together and work out their problems from below together. That's what we found.
Thanks for being so patient. Let's ask your question.